The Disney Parks Podcast is now on Stitcher, radio on demand. You can listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices using the Stitcher application. Find it free on your App Store or at Stitcher.com. Now on Stitcher, radio on demand. My name is Parkhopper John, and I am joined this week by the lovely and bunny-eared, hatted one, Parkhopper Sid.
Hello, and they're not bunny ears.
They're Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
They're Oswald ears. You can't see it, but you can imagine.
We come to you from the www.parkhoppers.com website. Joining us, as always, is the lovable, huggable, you just can't get enough of them, Mr.
Aww.
Tony Casanova from Disney by the Numbers.
The human world is a mess. Life under the sea is better than anything they got up there. Man.
Why do I want seafood all of a sudden?
Crab lips.
I'm feeling like shellfish.
Nice.
All right, so if you know what movie that quote is from, you can comment or send us an email, as always.
All right, and you can email us at questions@DisneyParksPodcast.com.
That's correct.
Of course, you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at Disney PK Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we have a new sponsor on the show. Yay! We would like to welcome our new sponsor, Once Upon a Time Travel, to the podcast and let you know that they are here for all your Disney travel needs and can help you plan your next Disney vacation. They are fee-free, and you can transfer your vacation to them. They can plan your entire itinerary as well. As they say, making your vacation memories live happily ever after. You can find them at www.onceuponaTimeTravel.net and on Facebook at facebook.com/onceuponaTimeTravel LLC. So welcome to the show, guys.
Yay! All right.
They are sponsoring our news and rumors section of the show, and I couldn't be happier. So I hope that they are happy that they're with us, and we are happy that they're here.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yep. Another travel agency breaks the barrier.
That's right.
Yeah.
There are never enough people helping you find your way to Disney.
That's true. That's
Absolutely.
true.
Now,
And the more people that help you, the better.
And Lord knows we need a lot of help. Okay, well, news that has just come out in the last few days, Disney is doing a Finding Nemo sequel. I am very, very excited. Are you guys excited?
I'm super stoked. Finding Nemo is my favorite Pixar movie.
I know Ellen DeGeneres is excited.
Ellen DeGeneres is so excited. In fact, she was actually quoted earlier this week as saying, "So kids, let that be a lesson to you. Anything is possible if you're patient and you beg hard enough on national television."
Yep.
So that being said, that does lead us into the spoiler that this is actually going to be Finding Dory. So the story is going to be focused around Dory. We're going to meet Dory's family. It's actually going to be set off the coast of California as opposed to Australia, where Finding Nemo was set. Do not worry. Nemo, his whole family, all of his friends, everyone from the tank, they will all be there, along with a bunch of new characters that have yet to be announced. And this movie is actually going to swim into theaters on November 25th, 2015. That does sound like a long time from now, doesn't it?
Yeah, but for a Pixar film, that's quick.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm very excited about this. I know that, Ellen DeGeneres is excited. They've talked about what a great script it is, and that, it's really funny. It's got a lot of heart, and you're going to see a lot of why Dory is the way she is. And so, I just love to know, is anybody else excited for this? Are we looking forward to this?
I think it'll be interesting to get the backstory on how Dory has a memory issue,
Right.
Because they really don't say how that happened, right?
No, they don't.
Yeah, so... But it's interesting that they're not calling it Finding Nemo 2 or not any kind of Nemo in it. They could just call it Finding Dory and not call it a sequel to Nemo, really.
Well, they are calling it Finding Dory, but I think they're introducing it as, here's the sequel to the Finding Nemo.
Right.
Just so we have a little bit of backstory. We know these characters. We know that, we know their story. We know how they came to be a part of this group. But
what gets me most excited about it is bringing back all the original cast, and they've given it back to Andrew Stanton.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that did Finding Nemo. He is also the gentleman who brought us the Optimal line, but I hold near and dear to my heart, John Carter. So now he's back at Pixar doing what he should be doing.
Yeah.
Creating incredible artwork in the way that he does it. So that's exciting. Once the news broke, it was like a huge wave, pun intended, across the internet. It was just great. So I watched the Ellen DeGeneres video when she made the announcement, and I think it's going to be an incredible win for Pixar.
Yeah. Well, and they're already talking about the success of this movie, that if it even comes close to the success of Nemo, it's going to do just fine. No one is worried.
Right.
Finding Nemo was the highest grossing G-rated movie of all time when it came out. It actually banked more than $920 million. It's still, at this point, it's still the fourth highest grossing animated film.
Mm-hmm.
And it even, I believe it won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature that year. So,
yeah, and I also read somewhere that Nemo is one of the most recognized Disney characters in the world.
I would agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's incredible. I'm looking forward to it. So everybody, set your calendars for November 25th, 2015. I'll be there. Will you?
I will. I hope they also do it in 3D, because the re-release of Nemo in 3D was awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, it made water look like water.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time this comes out, we may have smell-o-vision, so who knows?
Yes, that'll be great.
Great, I can smell the ocean. We start with Sweet and Cozy Hats. Join the Year of the Ear on April 1st as part of the limited time magic at Disney parks all over the world. So this is just yet another, I can't believe it, moment for me. This week, they continue with the Year of the Ear celebration as part of the limited time magic, with the release of yet 2 new hats. The Headwear Team, and I can't believe there's a Headwear Team, but I guess there is.
Who do you work for at Disney? I work for the Headwear Team.
Yeah. I make hats. So they designed some unique hats inspired by things found at Disney parks. On April 1st, the Strawberry Hat will be released. And look for that hat at select locations in Epcot, including the Festival Center located between Mission Space and University of Energy. And the other hat, and I like this hat. This is probably a hat I would go get because I have the other matching Luigi hat. The other new hat will be released at Disneyland and was inspired by the Cozy Cone Motel in Cars Land at the Disney California Adventure Park. So if you can imagine, this is really just an orange cone sitting on your head. And who hasn't done that as a kid anyway? Put the cone on your head, right?
Absolutely.
So, to have a cone hat would go great with my Luigi tire hat. So,
that would be cool. You could have a Luigi tire hat. You could have a Cozy Cone hat.
Yeah.
You could have a fire truck hat. You could have...
Absolutely.
I think there should be a little Mater hat that is just sort of looks rusty and busted up, and then has the little stuffed crane that comes out the back with a string and a fake hook on the back.
And 2 buck teeth. 2 buck teeth.
Oh, and 2 buck teeth coming over your forehead.
There you go.
Wait, let's go call the headwear department.
Design team.
Yes, we just designed a hat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We always give Disney ideas on the show.
Do they ever use them?
No, not yet.
No, not so much. Well, Kingdom Keepers 6, Dark Passage, is coming out. Actually, it was released today, the same day that we're recording this podcast. And to commemorate it, there's going to be book signings by author Ridley Pearson at the Walt Disney World Resort. You don't want to miss your chance to meet the acclaimed author as he sets sail for adventure with the release of his newest book, Kingdom Keepers 6 Dark Passage, the much anticipated addition to the Kingdom Keepers saga. Ridley will be on hand for special appearances and signings at the following locations April 10th through the 11th, 2013. You're going to have to jump on this, guys. So when this podcast comes out, it's going to be quick. April 10th, he's going to be at Once Upon a Toy at downtown Disney Marketplace from 4 to 6 p.m. And on April 11th, he's going to be at the Writer's Stop, oddly enough, at Disney's Hollywood Studios from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. And how they're doing this is you show up and they will distribute a wristband. If you want to have, I think it's up to 2 pieces of something signed by Ridley, you show up, you get a wristband. When the wristbands are gone, that's it. They're going to close the lines down. So however many wristbands there are, that's how many people get books signed. So,
what are people who work supposed to do about these events?
Apparently not get their books
signed.
Send a friend. That's right.
My friends work.
Well,
send an unemployed friend.
What are you doing on the 10th and 11th?
Working.
Yeah. This is exciting. I've lost I think we read the first 3 books?
The first 3.
And then we kind of fell off the wagon. But I've heard that the 7th is going to be the last book that he writes. And he's going to be, there's a new app that they're coming out with that's going to allow people to suggest plot points and, possible endings for characters and things like that, which I think is really great for engagement. I think it's really horrible way to write a book because I don't want to read what America thinks should happen in the book. I want to read what Ridley thinks should happen.
Yeah. Has he been to has he done a book about each park? Or just Florida, California?
I know for a fact the first book took place primarily in Magic Kingdom.
Right.
The second book took place at Epcot and Hollywood Studios. The third book was at Epcot. And then that's where I fell off the wagon.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if they went out to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I always thought that the cruise books were going to be earlier than book 6. But it makes sense. If you combine parks here in Walt Disney World, and you did do California, that's could have been book 5, I guess. I don't know. And so if you guys know out there, you guys should definitely catch us up to speed.
Yeah, maybe we could bring on a Kingdom Keeper expert.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do those exist?
I am sure there's somebody that has read all these books and knows them by heart, upside down, inside, besides Ridley himself.
Sure.
Well, if you are that expert, please send us an email, hook up with us on Facebook, let us know. We would love to have you on and just talk about what you think is going to happen in episode 6 as well as episode 7 and how you think it's going to wrap up.
Yeah.
Because my personal fear is that someone is going to get on here and make their own ending, and that's it. Mickey dies.
Oh, don't even say that. Blasphemer, unclean.
Well, isn't that a possibility in the video game, Epic Mickey?
Yeah. I've killed Mickey 100 times in that video game.
See?
Yeah, but you are Mickey in that video game. That's why he keeps dying.
It's true. I suck at that game.
Really, I'm about to break into anything as possible, and it's going to be frightening.
All right, talking about games, I had this idea today because I was playing this game on my iPad while having my lunch. There's a lot of SimCity type games where you build something, Farmville, Metropolis, whatever it is. You build some kind of city. I would like a game where I get to build a Magic Kingdom. I have the rides or the attractions and the stores and the shops and the restaurants, and then I get to kind of build a Magic Kingdom, put the attractions where I think they should belong. And then, as my park grows and my guest grows, I get to build more and more things. I would love to see a Disney Magic Kingdom simulation game, right?
So you want to build the next theme park?
Yes.
So what would you build when it comes to Avatar Land?
Nothing.
A big black hole.
All right.
I would build a bigger delete button.
I just want to make sure that we can still be friends.
Right.
Yeah, there's no reason to build that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have asked to be able to bring the next bit of news to you because I have done nothing but watch Iron Man movies for the last week. I think I have seen Iron Man 1 about 3 times now. So, Iron Man tech presented by Stark Industries, is coming to the Innoventions at Disneyland Park. If only it was Disney World, I would be so much more excited.
Yeah, no kidding.
Beginning April 13th, Iron Man Tech, presented by Stark Industries, will give Disneyland Park guests the chance to see Tony Stark's Hall of Armor, featuring Iron Man suits Mark 1 through 7, the same suits featured in Iron Man 3, and you'll even be able to virtually suit up yourself. Through simulation technology, guests will be able to see what it's like to operate the latest piece of the Mark 42 Iron Man armor. Through simulation technology, guests will be able to see what it's like to operate the latest piece of the Mark 42 Iron Man armor, even getting the chance to test out its infamous repulsor blasts. Come experience the Iron Man tech presented by Stark Industries when it opens at Innoventions in Disneyland Park. It's open April 13th. And then check out Iron Man 3 in theaters May 3rd. So this is a beautiful, teaser to get you even more excited about the movie. And if you're listening and you plan on going, if you've gone, if you have any hints, tidbits, please tell us, because I'm dying to know.
Okay, we get a monorail wrapped with the Iron Man 3, and they get the suits? Is that the deal that we made with Marvel?
Only the best for us.
I hope that these things go on tour. I mean, well, at least on tour over to our park here in Florida. I don't.
Well, I think that I didn't see any imagery from the press announcement. I think that they're probably very similar to the display that was on hand at Comic-Con this past year. If you saw any of the pictures of Comic-Con, they actually had the war room there with all the suits, and it was pretty impressive looking. This Iron Man movie coming out is really exciting for me because it's melding a couple of different plot points that, as a fanboy, I'm really excited about. Not only is it bringing in the Extremis storyline, where in the comic books at least, Tony implants devices inside of his skin where the suit actually flies to him in separate pieces. And it also brings in the Mandarin, which is not an orange. For those of you out there, the Mandarin is probably one of the most powerful enemies, villains that Iron Man has ever gone up against. And he's played by Ben Kingsley, who's just a badass anyway. So this movie can't come fast enough. And I'm very jealous of Disneyland yet again.
Yeah, I agree. The blessing of size has not been such a blessing for us.
I do have a question for you, Parkhopper John.
Sure.
Fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the polite pronunciation of Comic-Con style geek?
I'm a nerd, and I probably admit that openly. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. What can I say? I'm not as big a nerd as some people I know. You
fly your freak flag openly?
I fly my freak flag openly.
Not freak, geek.
No. There's a joke in there.
And I also live above ground.
I do live above ground. I have my own house. I don't live in my mom's basement.
That's right.
Some people I know. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just kidding.
Leave Tony alone.
Hey! I'm on the second floor of my house.
Well, we have our first look at Star Wars Weekend's merchandise for 2013 at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The Star Wars Weekend logo is featured on numerous items, including pins, coffee mugs, photo frames, posters, tattoos, all sorts of stuff. Anything that Disney could figure out how to put that logo on, they did it. The Disney Design Group also created a unique Star Wars Weekend, quote-unquote, title crawl image for merchandise, which reminds us of the opening of the title sequence to the Star Wars motion pictures. We believe Disney's trying to come up with a few new things this year that I'm really excited about, like the oversized calendar with 13 previous Star Wars Weekends posters. Each poster measures 12 by 18 inches and can be removed from the calendar because it is suitable for framing.
We will run out of wall space.
You are not kidding. Disney is also introducing a deluxe autograph photograph book. The popular Star Tours name tags using the Arabesh will be returning this year, and they have an exclusive black name tag for pass holders only. One of the things that we're particularly excited about is some of the toys. Jedi Mickey Starfighter is pretty awesome. They'll also have new Muppet action figures and new die-cast Cars versions of the characters from Disney Pixar's Cars portraying Star Wars characters, which, if you've seen the pictures, is pretty interesting. If you're really into this, I'm toying with buying one of these oversized Salacious B. Crumb latex characters. He's the little guy that sits at the feet of Jabba the Hutt. No jokes at my expense. And we also have a thermal detonator hot potato game, which is perfect for this year's theme. I'm wondering if the hot potato game just explodes. That would get rid of some of the crowds.
I hope so.
Next game night.
Next game night. Hey, everybody, let's play. Oh. Finally, Disney is releasing a new set of Vinomations at this year's event, including a limited release mystery series, of course, a Vinomation Junior series with droids, and two limited edition figures, a removable 3-inch figure of Han Solo in carbonite, and a 9-inch Jabba the Hutt figure with a 1.5-inch Salacious B. Crumb figure.
Aww.
Yeah, take out a loan, kids.
Yeah, and this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
There's usually way more than this. This is our sneak peek first look at the merch, which is coming soon. And like we said last week in a previous episode, get there early, kids, because some stuff goes real quick. Some stuff, they will have till the ends of the earth. But the limited edition stuff will probably go first. The limited release mystery series, the limited edition figures of the 3-inch Han Solo and Jabba the Hutt, those will go quick.
Right. If you're really into collecting all of it, I would say get there early.
Yeah.
But if you're more like me and you'll have one or two pieces, like we're going to be gunning for the calendar. That's I think we're really wanting the calendar. So those kind of items you need to be really strategic about. If you're not really worried about trying to get all the Vinomations, you're not trying to worry about getting some of the other things. You need to be really strategic. Getting there early helps. Having a partner helps. There's all sorts of little tips and tricks that we can probably give you to try to get the very pieces that you're really wanting. And worst case comes the worst case. There's always eBay.
Yep.
Well, and if anybody wants to help me track down that Salacious B. Crumb figure for my husband's upcoming birthday, anniversary, Christmas, something, they might forward an email to me from the standard email address.
There you go.
Sure.
We'll see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our news and rumors. Again, we want to thank our sponsor, Once Upon a Time Travel. You can find them at onceuponatimetravel.net and on Facebook at facebook.com/onceuponatimetravel LLC.
So through the course of many conversations, this topic has come up. So we want to share it with all of our listeners. We would love to discuss each of our top 5 bars and lounges at Walt Disney World. So, Tony, would you like to take it away with your top 5?
Sure. All right, so in order to make my list, there was a couple of criteria.
There always is.
Yeah, okay. One, it had to be a bar or a lounge. Number 2 is I like places that maybe not theming, but just look good. Look good, feel comfortable. There's a nice place to sit. Maybe not too noisy. That might be a criteria. And if they, bonus points, if they had the ability to get snacks or food. Because sometimes when you're drinking, you want something to eat while you're sitting there drinking. So that was kind of my criteria there in order to make my list. Number 5 on my list is the Tune-In Lounge, which is part of 50 Primetime Cafe at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So this made my list because I've said this before, I like to go there just eat off the menu. It's a good place to go for lunch when they're crowded. If you can get a place at the bar, you just sit down, relax, and you can order anything off the menu. And that includes the peanut butter and jelly shake, a non-alcoholic drink, so it doesn't always have to be alcohol.
Yum.
It was very good. And the bar staff is there. This is a very small bar, really, to sit at. Maybe there's a dozen chairs around the bar itself. And then the lounge area gets very crowded, during lunch and dinner time. So that's why it's number 5 on my list. But I still like to go there. I do have an alternate number 5, which is the Cruise Cup Lounge at the Yachtsman Steakhouse. And this is like a comfy, warm, woodsy place to go and have a drink. I'm not sure if they have food at that location. I'm sure you can order something from the Yachtsman menu. Number 4 is Victoria Falls Lounge, and that is at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And you can get little snacky things to eat there. I think there's some hummus with some different types of things to snack on. This is a nice bar. This overlooks Boma, so you kind of get the ambiance of and the smells of Boma. It also kind of overlooks Jinko's entrance. It's a little dark in here sometimes. The lighting is not the brightest in Victoria Falls. So if you're trying to do some book reading, this is not the place to have your drink.
Yeah, there's also one other small negative detractor to this is for the guests who are waiting to go into Boma, they often have African drummers out there showing kids how to play drums.
Yeah.
So there are times earlier in the dinner cycle that it's really not pleasant to be trying to read or have a conversation. But, once you get past the first couple of, once you get past like 6:37, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think they know when to send the drummer guy inside.
Yeah.
Well, and small caveat to Parkhopper John's warning, he is a classically trained drummer. So if you did not know that, there's a little fact about Parkhopper John. So he is a little bit of a drummer snob.
Right.
So if there is someone who is not trained properly hitting anything in any non-rhythm, he will hear it from blocks away.
Yep.
If you ever try to walk past that little African outpost in Epcot with him, it's just not pretty.
You're fired.
So it's probably not as bad to the untrained ear, but for those of you with trained ears, one of you, sorry.
All right.
Okay, so we now know not to have bad drummers by John, especially while he's drinking at the Victoria Falls Lounge.
Yeah.
That's not a good mix. Number 3 on my list is the Wave of American Flavors. This is a blue lounge, I would call this. It feels like you're in a blue period. I'm having my blue period.
Yes.
My blue space. It's a big bar. Lots of seats for sitting. There's a nice little couch lounge area if you don't want to sit at the bar. But the other nice thing about the Wave is they have some interesting Florida beers here. I've always been able to get some interesting beer. If you are a beer snob like me and you enjoy a good beer rather than maybe something else, then the Wave is a good place to get some interesting beer sometimes. And it's not always the same stuff. They seem to be rotating stuff in and out. So it's not always like, I got to go have the same beer there. They usually have new stuff coming in and out. Number 2 on the list is the Terratoni Lounge, or the Territory Lounge. This is at the Wilderness Lodge, and I've renamed this lounge. This is now my lounge. I've called it the Terratoni Lounge. I've been there so often. I like going here for numerous reasons. I like the atmosphere. It's a fairly quiet place. It's well lit. You can order food. They have a great little menu from the bar, and I also still believe you can order from Artist Point menu, which makes this even a better place to eat. And there's lots of great spaces there. I think the Wilderness Lodge has some of the best places to just go sit and have a drink and relax and read a book or play with your iPad or whatever. There's numerous places there, but the Territory Lounge is number 2.
Right.
And the number 1 place, and we're all probably going to say the same thing, is the Top of the World Lounge at Bay Lake Tower. Sarah's shaking her head no. She's got a different number one.
Oh, yeah.
This is number one for many, many reasons. The decor, the bartenders, the food, the view, the location. It just keeps going on. This place never disappoints. You know, the staff up there is great. The drinks are up there great. The food up there is great. They have a great piece of chocolate cake for two or one very hungry person.
Or nine.
Or nine. I think I've seen Andrew eat almost the whole thing himself.
That doesn't shock me. I don't know where it goes. But
yeah. So I don't know if it always has to be two. But really, if you have the chance, the opportunity, if you're using your DVC points anywhere on property, you can go to the Bay Lake Tower down at the bottom on the ground floor, check in, and they will take you up to the top of the world. I believe the hours are from 5 to midnight. And if you do go up there, tell them that John or Tony or Sarah sent you, and maybe they will treat you differently. Or maybe not. Or maybe they'll throw you out.
Yes, maybe. You never know.
Take it away, John.
Well, my list is I try to be a little different than everybody because and I have some things on here that generally are unique. But as with my friend Tony, I do have an honorable mention, and that honorable mention is the River Roost over at Port Orleans Riverside.
I am shocked.
And the reason that it's an honorable mention for me is because it's an okay dine place. You can go get food from the quick serve, and they have a small but growing menu of food. Their layout is kind of unique, and it has traditionally been, and nothing against everybody that works there, it's traditionally been one of the slowest wait staffs. But the draw to this place is starting around 8 o'clock at night, or maybe 7, is Yeehaw Bob. Bob Jackson starts playing, and I think it's like Tuesdays through Saturdays. He's amazing. He makes up for any negative stuff from the bar itself. So River Roost over at Port Orleans Riverside, that's my honorable mention. So my number 5 is the Rose and Crown pub over at Epcot in the UK Pavilion. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned traditional British pub, complete with the piano lady? I cannot remember her name. I did get to meet her. She's amazing. She sings traditional English pub songs. They have a wonderful English beer selection. You can order from the main menu. A lot of good food. Can get a little loud. Can get a little raucous, but hey, what good British pub doesn't? You know?
Hey, I want to give people a tip. I was just over there, I guess in January, February. So we were there at night. It was illumination time. And if you're looking at the bar outside, you know, where you can get your beer, just to the left of that, there's some tables and chairs that are not actually part of the restaurant. And you can actually sit there and have a perfectly clean view, unobstructed of any trees or whatever. So you can get a beer and then sit down in this area and watch illuminations. I would advise getting there early because people really squat on these tables once they get them.
Yeah. If you go with a partner, you can squat on a table and then you can have one extra person go run and get refills.
Right.
I think we've done that. And I need to make a correction. It's not the piano lady. It's the hat lady. And forgive me, I'm on cold medicine. I'm going to blame it on that, and we'll go with that. So that's my number 5.
Come on.
Well, she does play piano, and she sings, so you can see how that would be.
She wears a hat, and she's the hat lady. She's incredibly awesome. My number 4 is the Tambu Lounge at Disney's Polynesian Resort. I do love me some Ohana, and it's the bar right outside of Ohana. It's awesome. It's a great place, actually, on a Sunday if there's a football game on, to sit and watch a football because Disney owns ESPN. You can watch football and ESPN and the big screen TV. But they have a lot of traditional island fare. They have regular bar drinks as well. But it's one of the only places you can actually get the Lapu Lapu, which is the huge pineapple drink with what is it? It's got Myers dark rum, and tropical fruit juices served in a fresh pineapple, topped with Bacardi 151 rum. So that alone.
Is that a drink for two, or is that a drink for one, John?
That is a drink for one.
Okay.
And the other drink that I do love so much is the back scratcher, because not only is it a great drink, but it also comes with a bamboo back scratcher that you can take home with you. And I think we have like 10 of them around somewhere. So that's the Tambu Lounge at the Polynesian. My number 3 is a new addition to the list. It's Splitsville at Downtown Disney, and I am shocked that Splitsville did not make your list, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's got food. It's got atmosphere. It's got drinks. It's got an indoor-outdoor bar. It's got many bars, actually.
Right. Yeah,
maybe next time around.
Well, it's a newer restaurant at Downtown Disney. They're figuring some things out server-wise, but they have an incredibly unique list of drinks and concoctions that they make there, and you can get ices. A Coca-Cola icy. It costs $5, but it's really kind of worth it. If you're at Disney, you want an icy, so it's pretty amazing.
Hey, John, have we ever asked them to put liquor in that icy?
Oh,
I sense a field trip.
What are you doing later on, buddy?
Disney Park Podcast field trip.
They're open late. It's only 8:00. We could probably make that happen. But the cool thing about Splitsville is, there's one negative thing, and they're working on this because I've noticed.
Wait, the negative thing is it's a bowling alley.
It's a bowling alley. Once it gets to be a certain time of night, it does get a little loud. I'm not going to lie. They're working on it, though. We were there not too long ago, and it didn't seem as loud as it was in weeks prior. Pardon me. It really depends on the crowd, and they're kind of figuring some things out. So they do live entertainment on the weekends. Tony mentioned the indoor-outdoor bar. There's bars all over the place, and and there's bowling, and there's sushi, and there's traditional American food like the Juicy Lucy. It's just a great new addition to the Downtown Disney lineup, and I really discovered that I really do like it a lot. So it's number 3 on my list. Number 2 is a place that Sarah and I have been, Parkhopper Sid and I have been to a few times, but we haven't been there nearly enough, and that is the Tutto Gusto at Epcot in the Italian Pavilion. Now, it's not a traditional bar, but it's a place that you can go, and there's some sitting areas that are pretty much for couples only, and you can order an incredible amount of wine. You can order some Italian beer. They do have a bar area. They do have a large seating area. They do have facilities large enough for larger groups to go in and just kind of hang out. It's decored in such a way that is done like you're in a cellar. It's just a great place. It's a wonderful place to spend an afternoon or an evening with somebody that you're trying to snuggle up on. And the food you get there, they do have an extensive list of heavier hors d'oeuvres. You can order things directly out of a meat and cheese case, and you can order directly off the Tutto Italia menu. So,
I be warned about the meat and cheese. It is a little pricey. So we had a cheese platter, a meat platter, and 2 paninis. And the paninis are like mini paninis. They're not really big. That cost about $71.
Holy yikes.
So just be careful that you read the prices on the menu. Right. Because once you start adding things to the cheese and meat place, they kind of start to climb up their price. But right. I agree, the place is really nice, and I do like the food there. Prosciutto. I can eat that all day long. But
right.
Yeah, good pick.
Thanks.
It is.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is coming as a shock to nobody on this countdown is the Top of the World Club. I will say this about the Top of the World Club. It's always, to me, less about the bar, more about the people you're with. But the Top of the World Club just has so many things going for it. Mike and the other incredible servers at it's Mike and Michael up at the Top of the World Club in the bar. I have a personal story about that with the monorail painting and Bob Gurr. I have a lot of friends that we go there, we hang out. They have a little room attached to the main area that we all like to call the Boom Boom Room that seats about, I don't know.
We fit 8 or 9 in there.
Yeah, comfortably, and you can close some drapes and kind of have a nice little private area you can sit and hang out. But the thing is, come 10 o'clock, they turn off all the lamps, they dim the incredible chandelier, and they pipe in the music for Wishes, and then everybody usually files out of the bar and goes and watch Wishes from possibly one of 2 or 3 incredible vantage places. And until they reopen the California Grill, much to Tony's chagrin, it is the best place to see the Wishes fireworks show on Disney property, in my opinion. So my number 1's Top of the World, buddy, just like yours.
That's a good list. I like that list.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So now we feature the lovely and talented Parkhopper Sid with her top 5 bars and lounges.
Aww. Well, I do not have the same criteria as my extremely debonair and gentleman co-hosts. Most of my criteria have to do with, well, they need to have alcohol. I would love a little bit of ambiance.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, there has to be some sort of personal connection, a good experience or a good memory or something like that. So I'm going to start off with my number 5, which is actually at the Grand Floridian. And it is Meisner's Lounge.
Oh, yeah.
It's this lovely little hole-in-the-wall lounge. I believe it's up on the 2nd floor, sort of overlooking the lobby. And we were taken there for the first time by Steve and Vicki Barrett, otherwise known as Hidden Mickey Guy and his beautiful Hidden Mickey half. So, but they had great drinks. The bartender was phenomenally nice. It was just a really nice spot to just sit and talk and just chat with friends, and it was just really nice. It had, it's one of those places where you can go and when you want to just connect and you don't want a lot of loud noise and there's not a lot of kids running around and things like that. It was really nice.
Is it quiet up there, Sarah, or do you get noise off the lobby from up there?
It was quiet. I've never actually, except as you get closer to Christmas, I've never actually seen the lobby that loud. I mean, they do have the live music that they play. Right. But as a whole, the Grand Floridian is normally a little more subdued than some other lobbies.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So that's my number 5. My number 4 is the Trout Pass Pool Bar over at the Wilderness Lodge. Not big, not fancy, but the bartenders were phenomenal. I really like those bars that you can just walk up to. You can sit at the bar. You can take your drink and go put your feet in the pool. They had some great cocktails there that were very specific to them. Plus, they were very creative in what they would make you and very engaging. And so I really liked that. And it was nice to know that that was there and the parents were able to go up and, get a soda, get a drink, get a glass of wine, whatever they wanted to. And the kids were right there and they didn't have to go inside. They didn't have to go somewhere special. And it was very accessible. So that was nice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great place.
So my number 3 is the Turf Club and Lounge. It is just outside of the Turf Club restaurant itself. It's in the back of the resort at Saratoga Springs. And it had great couches. Again, big TV for the gentlemen who want to go in and watch sports. There's a pool table right there. If you want to play pool, if the kids want to play pool, it just had a really nice atmosphere. Tiny little service bar, just a little walk-up window that you go to. But the bartender there, the few times we've been there, has just been phenomenally nice. They're creative in what they offer you. Plus, they, of course, have some specialty drinks that are unique to just them. And so it was really nice.
I'll say this about the Turf Club. Sorry. I will say this about the Turf Club. Saratoga Springs is pretty much one of those DVC resorts for the most part. And a lot of DVC people that come in and visit wind up there. But I think the Turf Club and that whole area is one of the hidden gems of Disney. Because the restaurant is incredible. The food that they offer there, the wine that they offer is amazing. The Turf Club Lounge area is great. But the thing about it for me is especially if you get lucky enough and the weather works out well. You can go outside and you can sit and watch the boats going from downtown Disney to Port Orleans and Port Orleans Riverside. And it's just an incredible area to sit, and you can see downtown Disney. You can see the boats going by, and if you're as much of a fan of water and atmosphere as Parkhopper Sid and I am, it's just one of those hidden gems. If you're outside too, it's very quiet. It's on a golf course, so it's not super duper loud, but it's just got this vibe that Sarah and I, it resonates with me and Sid, Parkhopper Sid.
Yes, and if you're there late in the evening and you can see all the lights coming on at downtown Disney, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So you get that backside of downtown Disney view. So now my number 2 will be a surprise, because my number 2 is the Top of the World Lounge.
Say it ain't so. Number 2.
Well, and I have reasons why.
Did you misnumber your list?
I did not misnumber my list.
Okay.
I love the Top of the World Lounge. I love all the friends we go with. I love the Boom Boom Room, also known as Rick's Boom Boom Room, or Amanda's Boom Boom Room, or
Tony's.
the Parkhopper Boom Boom Room, or the Tony's Boom Boom Room, depending on whoever got there first, I guess. We have actually walked in the door, and Mike or Michael will look at us and say, oh, there's someone in your room. So, it is just, I love the atmosphere there. The people are phenomenally nice. The drinks are great. I think Parkhopper John actually put up a video recently on WDW Parkhoppers where we taste tested the Godiva chocolate liqueur shots, where you have liqueur infused strawberries. And so, they really have some fun stuff up there. They had some flatbread pizzas.
So nice. It's such a great place. We literally could do an entire show talking about Top of the World Club.
We may.
Maybe we should do a whole show from the Top of the World Club.
I like this.
I'm telling you, we could make that happen, buddy. We're like 20 minutes away. Let's go.
Well, and I will also say this has a lovely spot in my memory, because this is where we took my mother-in-law. And she had an idea where we were taking her, and she went there. And not only did we take her there, but there are certain Disney bloggers that you would have thought that mom had just walked into Robert Redford. She was like a giddy schoolgirl.
She was, actually.
And so it was just to be able to take mom to these places that she's dreamt about going for years, and to see the look on her face is just priceless to us.
Plus, it's always good when you can go out and get your mom a little liquored up.
And Parkhopper John's mom is fun when she's got a drink in her. She's fun anyway, but I get stories out of her then.
Oh, boy.
All right, so I kind of have a tie for my number 1. I'm going to start with my pseudo off-property number 1.
All right.
And hey, you gentlemen each got to have your honorable mentions, so my number 1 gets an honorable mention.
Okay.
And that is Paradiso 37.
Ooh, Downtown Disney?
Downtown Disney.
Ooh. That's really not off property.
No.
Well, it's not. It's not, it's not in a resort. It's not in the park. It's Downtown Disney.
Right.
And, they have great drinks. They have this twisted margarita that's like a frozen sangria and frozen margarita, and it's all swirled together in the glass, and it's just yum. And so they have this wall. It's about 1.5 stories high, this wall of liquor. And if you can dream it with the alcohol that's on this wall, they can make it. And it's a fun place to be. The food is great. The ambiance is great. If you can sit out on the patio, then you're actually doing the reverse view of the Turf Club, and you're looking at Saratoga Springs, and you're looking at the water, and you can see all the way down the lake and see the other end of downtown Disney. It's really just a nice place.
It's amazing.
We love the food there. We've taken lots of friends there. I don't think we've ever had to wait. People say they've had to wait, but we have yet to see that.
Yeah, I've never had to wait there either.
I enjoy it.
It's great.
All right, and my true number 1 is, ready?
Yep.
Cava del Tequila.
Oh.
How can you all forget about the fabulous, wonderful hole-in-the-wall, like you're in a Mexican basement.
Hole-in-the-wall.
Exactly.
Tequila bar inside of the Mexico Pavilion.
Oh, my gosh.
First of all, I am a tequila girl. I love the tequila there. And we have a couple of friends who are almost tequila experts. They are connoisseurs, and they will go and point out different tequilas that they love. They are very into añejos right now. And so they will point out the ones that they like to taste. There is a wonderful infused tequila flight that has a tropical tequila. It's a little sweet with some pineapple hints to it. It's phenomenal. You can get chips and salsa and other snacks there. And one of the reasons I love it is actually one of the reasons I believe Tony does not. It is a little tight. It's a little cramped. You kind of got to fight for your seat. To me, that makes it more fun. So we always end up squeezed in a corner somewhere in the back. And I don't think we have ever been in there and not made friends with the people at the table next to us.
Right.
So I really do like that. And I have great memories.
Well, you have to. They're drinking tequila.
Absolutely. And
Right.
if you're there, you better be too.
Yeah.
And there's different types of seats. There's, the booths and the tables, and then there's some cushy seats that I think are over in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. In fact, it is my favorite place to go on a rainy day at Epcot.
Yeah. They have a standing table too.
They do, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's a bar, you can sit at the bar, and
that wall of tequila that they have there is, I've taken tons of pictures of it. I still can't count how many bottles of different types of tequila that's there. And it is truly a great place to go hang out if you can remember it afterwards.
they always say they have at least 80 different tequilas.
Oh.
Wow.
And they have everything from sort of the lower end all the way up to stuff that, I'll never be able to afford.
Yeah.
But that being said, go try a couple of different things. They have an amazing margarita menu also. They have a habanero lime margarita. Yum.
Is that a flamethrower?
No, it's just got a little bit of heat in the back of your throat. It's really wonderful. And they have this blood orange margarita that is one of Parkhopper John's favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Cava de Tequila. Thank you, Walt Disney World, for a tequila bar.
That's a great list.
Yeah. Another great list. So that's it. That's our favorite bars, lounges, drinks, eats, places to visit. Well, between the three of us, that's 15 places? No. A little bit less than 15 because we're top of the world numerous times. But that's a lot of places. And we really didn't even touch the surface of bars and lounges on property. We were thinking about doing a little field trip. We were going to call it.
Yeah, a little bit. We were thinking about doing a
Disney
little
podcast.
Yeah.
Field trip. Yeah.
A monorail bar hop, I think.
Bar hop.
Yeah, monorail crawl.
Yeah.
Monorail lounge visit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so we'll have to do some planning and then come back and get that thing going.
Yeah,
I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we have to pick a time. There's a lot of people there. If you, why don't you guys do this? Questions at DisneyParksPodcast.com. Let us know how interested you'd be in joining us in a monorail pub crawl. Basically, what that is there's 3 resorts on the monorail. We are discounting the Magic Kingdom and Be Our Guest because you can only get wine and beer at dinner. Yeah, we're not counting that one. But between the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, and the Contemporary, and Bay Lake Tower.
Yeah.
You have 3 or 4, depending on how you count, amazing opportunities to try some different seating areas with some unique drinks. And how interested would you guys be in joining us on that? And let us know at questions at DisneyParksPodcast.com.
You don't have to think about it. We could hit 5. We could do Top of the World. We could do
Outer Rim.
We could do the Outer Rim.
Wave of the Wave.
We could do the Wave. We can do the Tambu Lounge at the Polynesian.
Right.
We can do Meisner's at the Grand Floridian.
We can do
go really crazy.
The Poly Pool Bar.
We can do the Poly Pool Bar. And we could do the little quick service food / there's liquor and wine in small self-service single serving bottles.
Yeah, Gasparilla.
Over at the Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
Does Narcoossee's have a bar?
Yeah, they do.
We can hit Narcoossee's too.
Yeah, and so does Citricos.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Citricos.
And Captain Jack's has stuff in the fridge. Okay.
Listen, we can find alcohol. I don't think that's the problem.
Just do us a favor. We need to know how many people want to do this, so we can have a designated driver with a van.
That's a monorail driver. The monorail pilot license.
We'd also love to know your top 5.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us your top 5 favorite bars or lounges on Disney property? We'd love to know that too. So,
or your top 1.
Yeah, you can leave us a comment at Disney at the DisneyParksPodcast.com website. You can also leave us a comment on Facebook or Twitter at Disney PK Podcast.
Yeah, and here's my tip to Disney. Disney, if you're listening, the pool bars are great, but I think they need food. That would make them better. Now, listen, I know you can probably get it if you had a cabana, but not everybody can afford the cabana. They sell chips and snacks at the pool bars, but I think if they had even sandwiches. Actually, I take that back. The drop-off at Art of Animation, that bar has sandwiches and salads at the bar. The pool bar. You go. At the pool bar. So they just need to spread that to other places. So.
Right.
Yeah. And now, the world-famous couple of Sid and John, or Parkhopper Sid and Parkhopper John, will give us the www.parkhopper.com tip of the week, John and Sarah.
Right. Thanks, Tony. We talked about different lounges and bars around Disney property, and a lot of you may be thinking, well, that's great, but I'm staying at the Art of Animation Resort, and I can't get to all these resorts. Au contraire. Most people think that you can't visit other resorts at Disney, and I know that sounds crazy, but I get that question a lot. How do you visit different resorts when you're on property? It's very simple. You just go to the resort. If you have a car, or however you get there, if you have a car, when you go into the guardhouse, you have to show ID like you normally have to do, and just tell them, I'm here to go to the lounge, or I'm here to look around, take pictures, and they will let you in. I know that sounds crazy, but unlike other places that you can't get into on Disney property unless you have a ticket, you actually can visit as many resorts as you want to. All you have to do is show your ID. They'll let you in. If you're on a monorail, that's the easiest way that you can hop from resort to resort. You can also jump on a Disney bus and go to a different resort. That gets tricky if you don't have your own mode of transportation, because you have to schedule how you're going to get from place to place. But we want to encourage you guys, when you come down for a visit to Walt Disney World, please know that you can go to resorts that you are not a guest of. Please know that you can visit other resorts that you are not a guest of. It's not closed off. And our tip is to make sure that you visit as many different resorts as you can. Enjoy the theming, enjoy the different eating places. And even though you might not have a reservation at a resort, you can still get in, walk around, buy some souvenirs, enjoy a nice meal, or maybe have a cocktail in the lounge.
That is a awesome tip, because for my first couple visits, I was kind of hesitant to go from resort to resort, and then it's like, hey, wait a minute. I don't have to stay in my all-star resort all the time.
Right.
I have a car, and I can go to other places. So.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a good tip. Yeah, you don't have to eat in the park either. Lots of these resorts have great restaurants too. So
amazing restaurants, better restaurants oftentimes in the parks.
Yeah, get out of the park and get into a resort. That's a good
Absolutely.
tip.
Well, we have the part of the show that I really enjoy, which is Disney by the Numbers brings us some facts that we might or might not know about different areas of the parks or the resorts. And Tony is going to share with us the top 5 things that we did not know about the drinks at Disney parks and beyond. I'm sensing a theme here.
Yes, this is a liquor theme, a drinking
theme show. Long time in coming, and I'm so glad it's here. Tony's going to share these facts and figures with us, and it's brought to you by the Disney by the Numbers iPhone and iPad app. Take it away, Tony.
All right, thanks, John. Number 5. 250 is the approximate number of different wines offered at the Carthay Circle restaurant, including 35 different wines by the glass. That is a huge wine list for a Disney restaurant, I think.
They also have an amazing number of sommeliers.
Yes, they have the most amount of sommeliers at any resort, I think.
Right. I think the number is 70.
Yeah, I think so too. Before, 7,400 beer bottles / cans are used on one 7-day cruise. So that's a lot of beer and being consumed.
Yes, it is.
But I guess when you don't have to drive, what do you have to do but drink?
That's right.
Right. Number 3, 700 selections are on the wine list at Victoria and Albert's. Now, if we thought Carteret Circle was bad at 250, 700 different selections of wine at Victoria and Albert's.
That's incredibly insane.
I don't even want to know what the highest price bottle would cost there.
How do you keep up with 700 selections of a wine list like that? How do you do that?
I don't know. A computer, an Excel worksheet, I think.
Well, I mean, you can only have X amount of bottles of each type of wine.
Yeah.
I mean, how soon would it, if you had a party of 10 people, how many bottles could you go through before you run out of a certain type of wine?
If you go out with me and my colleagues, it's a bottle a person, so that'd be 10 bottles.
Jeez, Pete. That's incredible.
Yeah. And we've done that before.
It just felt like we did.
No, we did. Number 2 is 1.9 million gallons of soft drinks are consumed each year in Disneyland.
Wow.
1.9 million gallons of drinks. Mayor Bloomberg would have a field day with that. I mean, he would snip that in the bud.
Yeah, he needs to get over himself.
Yeah. And the number one thing you did not know about drinks at the Disneyland parks and beyond is 50 million soft drinks are sold at Disney World in Florida each year. Now, I wonder why Disney released this, one in gallons and one in millions of soft drinks. So, I don't know if that's a 12 ounce or a 16 ounce or a 22 ounce. I was wondering why they released these figures in different fashions, but...
Because they're messing with you.
Yeah, I know. They like to do that.
Have to keep Tony on his toes.
Yeah. So, I'd like to find out how much that converts into gallons so I can compare it. I'm sure it's got to be more than 1.9 million. We have 4 parks, 22 resorts.
Right.
It's got to be huge. So that's it. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Tony. Again, we want to encourage you to go out to DisneyByTheNumbers.com and to purchase the Disney by the Numbers iPhone, iPad, or iPod application. You can find it on iTunes. It is an incredible application. It's a lot of fun if you're standing in line. It's a great way to play games with your kids. It's incredibly informative. He's recently updated it with the Disney Cruise Line information. The Disney by the Numbers iPhone, iPad app, available today at the iTunes store.
Thank you, John. That was great.
You're welcome.
So let's wrap up with a couple announcements. I'll start, and then I think John's got a Disney by the Number, and John and Sarah, hopefully, if they can. We'll be having a meet April 27th at 3 p.m. at the Mara at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Jumbo House. Not over at the little villa building. That's the
big one.
The big house. The big Jumbo House. So come over and say hello, chit-chat, meet us, have a drink if you want.
Absolutely.
Or have a sandwich if you want, whatever.
Yep, absolutely. You can get all three of hopefully you can see all three of us there in one spot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we want to encourage you guys to come over to Team Parkhoppers on Facebook, facebook.com/Team Parkhoppers. You can also find us at teamparkhoppers.com. We're getting that ball rolling. We're getting excited because we have the next race is the Expedition Everest 5K Challenge. And then the real excitement is going to be for the Tower of Terror 10-miler, which happens, I think, in August or September. I can never keep those dates right. I think it's in September. But we want to go ahead and get you guys to like us over on Facebook and to come visit the blog. It's growing. We're working on it, but we want to go ahead and get the word out. We're trying to raise money for some different nonprofit organizations. So Team Parkhoppers on Facebook and teamparkhoppers.com.
The blog is just like my training schedule. It is a work in progress.
Yeah.
Now, I heard they just released Food and Wine marathon race dates.
No, we have the dates. I think they just opened up the sign up for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they opened that up last week.
Okay.
And the one thing that has been the big news recently is they are talking about the lineup for the races coming up in January for Marathon Weekend. And the new addition is now the Dopey Challenge.
Officially.
the official.
Dopey
There's a medal
challenge.
and everything, and a shirt, and a whole new price point for the Dopey Challenge.
Ooh.
And what, anyone who's been running
a
the
lower
marathon-
price point, of course.
Oh, you're funny. Anyone who has run in Marathon Weekend before or run the Goofy Challenge knows that there has always been this unofficial Dopey Challenge, which meant that you did the 5K on Friday, you did the half marathon on Saturday, and you did the full marathon on Sunday. And there was no medal, there was no shirt. It was all very unofficial, but pretty much if you were anywhere near Disney, you knew what it meant. And so this year they are actually adding the Dopey Challenge, and they are adding a fourth race. So this year, on Thursday, there is a 5K. On Friday, there is a 10K. On Saturday, there is a half marathon. And on Sunday, there is going to be the marathon.
And Monday, there's a visit to the doctor.
Oh, that would be Sunday night. So, do the Dopey Challenge. You do need to do all 4 of these. And so I'm very, very sorry for all of your feet. I'm sure that the doctors are going to be very excited for all of the Band-Aids they will be selling.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, I'm trying to do the math in my head here, that we are looking at 48.6 miles over the course of 4 days.
Wow.
Right. Keeping in mind that an ultra marathon is 50 miles in one day. They're spreading it out over 4 days. And the Dopey is, to get the Dopey this year, you have to do the 10 milers or the 10K as well, correct?
Yes, you have to do all 4 of these.
Right.
But please understand, you don't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be pretty. You have to start and you have to finish. So if you are picked up by a sweep van, or if for one reason or another you need to end your search for the finish line on your own, you will still get your medal for that race, or at least traditionally you have, because you have put in a good effort. But you will not get your Dopey medal, just like you did not get the Goofy medal last year.
Okay, so are there any weird people that would sign up for the race and just, run a mile and then get swept by the van just to get the medal?
I don't think there are people that...
I mean, it's a little expensive medal then, right?
It is. I don't think there are people that truly set out to do that.
Mm.
I know that there have been people that, blow out a knee.
Yeah.
Or, maybe they didn't train as much as they'd hoped.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just, they're really just trying to prove to themselves to see how far they can go.
Right.
I know that has happened. We've had some friends that even had to stop the race due to blisters.
Wow.
Parkhopper John is raising his hand. He got 8 miles in the 10 miler last year and swept himself. And when we got him back to the hotel room and took his shoes off, he had blisters that were the size of the balls of his feet. And so he wasn't able to walk for the next day and a half.
Running ain't pretty, kids.
It doesn't have to be fast. It doesn't have to be pretty. This is just about going out there. It's great camaraderie. I've made great friends on the course, off the course, starting line. And you know what? My medal looks just the same as the person who finished 4th. So if you're interested, let us know. We would love to cheer you on. We would love to put you on the course, do some training.
There was a show I was watching, I think, last weekend. It was called Sportsfolio, and the highlights, I don't know, I guess different places or sports stuff. I forgot what channel it was on. I want to say CBS Sports, but maybe I'm wrong. But just Google Sportsfolio or check your search on your TV. And it was interesting because this one had to do with stuff in Florida. Central Florida was the focus of Daytona Raceway and ESPN Wild World of Sports here at Disney.
Nice.
And they say that they conduct 250 events out of 365 days during the year. And
that almost sounds low.
Yeah, I thought it sounded low too. But as the guy said, there's multiple things that can happen in a day. There may be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 events going on. There may be cheerleading going on inside, soccer going on outside, baseball going on. So, they have all of these facilities that can do, they said almost every sport except for aquatic sports, and that's on the table. They're talking about building an aquatic center.
And ice.
And
I have yet to see, ice skating or hockey.
Yeah, I bet they can make fake ice in the field house, or the Johnston Center, one of those. I bet they can put in fake ice. The other thing, too, was, remember a couple of years ago they had talked about building a 100-lane bowling alley.
Oh, yeah, because we need that.
So, I'd like to see that. I don't know, would you go watch a bowling event at the Wild West? Yeah.
No.
Is there a bar?
Is there a bar?
There might be.
There may be.
Well, listen, Disney doesn't say no to that because that's income.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And profit, so
right.
They would probably put a bar in there. They'd probably put a bar in a restaurant and charge you an entrance fee and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but go check that out. It was an interesting show if you are interested in, the sports things that happen down here. And they were really talking about baseball is huge. How many baseball teams have spring training in and around the Central Florida area?
Oh,
so,
yeah. Well, the weather's great.
All right, kiddies, let's put another fork in this show. As always, email your questions at disneyparkpodcast.com. Also, you can leave your comments in the comment section on the blog. Give us a call at 407-476-8898, and we'll see you next time.
The Disney Parks Podcast is now on Stitcher, radio on demand. You can listen to us on your iPhone, Android phone, Kindle Fire, and other devices using the Stitcher application. Find it free on your App Store or at Stitcher.com. Now on Stitcher, radio on demand. Well, my name is Parkhopper John, and I want to encourage you guys to come on over to www.parkhoppers.com, and we have a great newsletter that we want to encourage you all to sign up for because of premier scavenger hunts. So visit us at www.parkhoppers.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, at Google+, and Pinterest at www.parkhoppers.
I'm Tony Casanova. You can find me at DisneyByTheNumbers.com, and on the website there you can find all the facts and stats about Disney and the Disney Company, the parks. Sign up for our newsletter. Go check out our photos, our videos. Also, we have an iPhone app which you can find in the iTunes store. It is www.dbtn Facts. I suggest that you download one. You can also find us at Twitter at DBTN. Find us at Facebook page /DBTN page, or there's a Facebook group. And you can also find us on Google Plus and Pinterest. And we'll see you in the park.